Hey y'all, this is your local neighborhood Phoenix, Bryan Anthony, coming at you with a video to help kickstart my crowdfunding campaign that I'm doing on generosity.com, which is part of Indiegogo. I am doing a crowdfunding campaign to help raise money for tuition to attend a 2-week certification training course through the Tama-Do Academy of Sound, Color, and Movement in Switzerland. And this particular training course is going to be the second of its kind that I have done, and will allow me to become a certified practitioner in the practice. Now, if you've known me for a little over a year or more, then you would know that this is not my first time doing this. Last spring, I did a very similar thing with a very similar intention to be able to really start my training in this practice. I had the blessed fortune to be able to discover the Tama-Do Academy kind of randomly, and after reading through the book that was written by the founder, I had to know more about it. And I want to tell you a little bit about it, actually, so I can take you through my journey and tell you where I'm at now. This is a book called The Tao of Sound, which was written by Fabien Maman and Terrace Unsold. Fabien Maman was the original founder of this practice. Terrace is an instructor who has brought a very awesome component to the academy with color and fairy shamanism. So Fabien Maman, back in the early 1980s, he did this awesome experiment. He got his hands on a particular instrument called a Kirlian camera. Now, a Kirlian camera is something that was invented by Russian scientists to be able to take pictures of essentially what you could call the aura of living tissue. Now, really what it is, it's the light spectrum of the heat or electromagnetic activity that's going on around living tissue. And what Fabien found when he got his hands on this is that he was interested to see how music and how musical tones would affect living tissues. So he would take pools of blood cells, which you see here, and what you also see as a part of this is that each one of these pools of blood cells has a musical frequency, a vibrational tone being played for it or to it by some kind of acoustic instrument, whether it was a voice or a xylophone or a string bass. Whatever it was, each particular tone, each note, and each type of instrument elicited a different response. And what you can see here is what happened with the aura of the cells is that it would change colors and shape depending on what was going on, what was being played for it. Now, through this practice, what he found, or through this experiment, what he found is that there was one particular note for any particular pool of blood cells. There was one particular note that he called the fundamental note that would elicit the most amazing response. So this is one of his most famous pictures, because what this is showing is an entire pool of blood cells that is completely lit up with the reaction of harmonic resonance with a note that's being played for it. So this was a really profound discovery for him. Now, Fabien had been studying acupuncture for almost a decade under a master in France, and after doing this experiment, really just catapulted his research into seeing how musical tones affected the body, and he took his knowledge of ancient Chinese medicine, and he found, after rigorous trial and error for about a decade or so, he found that there is actually a musical note that corresponds with the main acupuncture points or main command points on the body. So he developed special tuning forks, and this is the main tool of a Tama-Do practitioner, special tuning fork that when struck, you don't really hear, but the vibration itself elicits a response when put on the proper command point. And what this does is it helps to balance organs, it helps to feed organs. It helps to alleviate excess energy. It works with the meridians of the body, which is the same thing that acupuncture works with. And it's all built on the ancient Chinese medicine wheel, the 5-elemental wheel. Also, as a part of the Tama-Do practice, what Terrace Unsold introduced was color therapy. And that is, we know that there's a psychosomatic response when we are looking and dealing with color, but also because we have a human energy field, each color actually carries a particular frequency, because light is frequency. And when this color interacts with the body, it can also help to balance and alleviate tensions. And really what we're talking about is working on many different levels, from the physical to the subtle body. So this is a really amazing work. And when I first had an opportunity to go down to Malibu to kind of try it out, I was just floored, because there was a particular type of practice that I hadn't seen before, and a type of sensitivity that was needing to be developed in order to do it, that I was really interested in developing. So last spring, I went ahead and catapulted into this practice by doing a fundraiser and signing up for the level 1 training in Switzerland. My last fundraiser was very successful. My goal was about $5,000, which is basically the tuition and all the traveling costs. It's, you know, everything kind of rolled into one for the 2 weeks. I made about $2,800, which was awesome. That was more than I was expecting to. I put up the amount for the tuition, and I was just kind of hoping for the best, and I was just totally floored with the amount of support that I got. So as you might imagine, stepping up to you again with my hand out is a little bit apprehensive for me. And the reason is that I think there's a particular type of programming in our society that says, you know, when you step up to put your hand out for some kind of donation, especially if you're doing it multiple times in a row, then there's this kind of programming. It's like, oh, why can't he just do this on his own, or, you know, work for it, or whatever it might be. And I can tell you that the only way that this is going to happen is with the generosity, but more importantly is that I have committed 100% to this path of service. And I know that the Tama-Do practitionership is going to be the foundation upon which I build a structure that I've been really waiting to build for my entire life. And it's been quite a rocky ride for me, and this is the first time I've been able to confidently say that this is my path. I still don't know what that looks like, but I know that this is going to be the foundation. So when I'm asking for a donation, and when I'm asking for help, what I'm asking for is I'm asking for help for the community to help me become an instrument of divine purpose, to be able to spread love and healing and energy that will help awaken the rest of us to our true potential and true nature, because really that's what all this is about. This health, this healing, we're healing ourselves in order to become ourselves, to find our authenticity, to be able to help others wake up out of the dream. And I have seen some pretty gnarly things in my life, and now I'm stepping into this authentic me, and I want to be able to carve a path that others can walk. So this crowdfunding campaign feels like it has a lot more energy behind it for me, actually. I feel like I can honestly and confidently say, whereas last spring this was kind of new, I mean, I knew it was my path, but it was still very mysterious. And, you know, I was just kind of like, here we go, let's try this out. I am feeling a great deal of momentum and a great deal of potential to be able to really step into this authentic me, and to be able to become of service to the community in a way that is most conducive to my particular strengths. And I want you to know that any of your generosity, whether it's monetary or whether it's energetic or whatever it might be, is going to work wonders. and it will reach many different people. And I promise you, that is my personal promise from the bottom of my heart. No matter how lost I might get along the way, I will do my best to continue to try to find the path again and be as useful as possible. So, that being said, you can donate here on the crowdfunding website, or if you're in the local Chico area, I am offering Tama-Do sessions as a part of my necessary practice in order to get certified. And if you would like to make a donation, they are donation-based sessions. So if you'd like to make a contribution and you would like to get to experience this wonderful healing practice, then feel free to just message me, contact me any way that you have available. You can contact me through Generosity, or you can request my email and I can contact you there. But we can set up a time and do a session, and everything that I make with those sessions is going to go directly to this campaign. So anything that you donate to me as a result of that is going to go right into this pool. Now, one last thing I want to say as well about the amount. So my tuition, again, and travel expenses is all about the same. It's about $5,000. Now, because my instructors are being awesome and working with me, and I have confidence that I can work off a portion of this as necessary, I set my goal at $3,000 because what I'd like to do is I'd like to really see that be met and exceeded. And the incentive for exceeding the goal is that every dollar over $3,000 that I can raise in this campaign is going to go to a local nonprofit called CHAT, Chico Housing Action Team. Specifically, I'm hoping that it goes to the Safe Space Winter Shelter, which is an incredibly important and wonderful service that CHAT offers for the homeless population here in Chico. During the winter, it gets really cold. They work with local churches to provide shelter, to provide food, and it's a really wonderful thing. And they're a little bit more lenient when it comes to folks that might be intoxicated, and that hits kind of a special place in my heart because I want my brothers and sisters that are still in disease to still have a chance at, you know, some basic needs during those times. So any dollar over $3,000 that gets raised, I'm going to split that. It's going to go towards tuition, and the other half will go towards the Chico Housing Action Team, CHAT. So let's see what we can do. If you are not in a financial place to donate, then please spread the good word. Your words of support are incredibly generous as well. No matter what, I am incredibly grateful for all of you that are just watching this right now, considering it. Anything you can do to help me out in my campaign. I want to help this community really take off. And I want to see what we can do to really shake the establishment and provide a service that will help our brothers and sisters heal and find out who they really are. So I have infinite amounts of gratitude from the bottom of my heart. I love you all so very much, and I'll be posting more updates as we go along. Thank you, and namaste.